Welcome, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Gentlemen's Dialogue. We are here on Vent Friday, October 27th, 2023, and we're just gonna talk about something real quick that a friend of mine actually surveyed in terms of her friends, and they had some questions that they wanted men to answer or address. But before we get into that, I gotta welcome my co-host Solomon, known as Solo, to the show as usual. Welcome, my brother.
Yes, sir. Happy to be here. Happy Friday. How's it going, man? How you feeling?
Man, I'm feeling good, bro. Feeling really, really good, man. I'm sipping on this glass of Merlot, man. So we're gonna kick it today. Not gonna be a long show, man, but this one is gonna be pretty straightforward. We got a question, and the question basically came from a young lady, and she just wanted just to know, like a survey of men, like, why is it that men have a problem defining the relationship with a woman? So, I kind of listened to the question. And I was like, well, is that really the case? Is it that men have a problem defining the relationship, or is it sometimes that the women rush in and they do things too quickly and automatically assume that it has now become a relationship? See, this is where communication comes into play. Yeah. We're out, we're kicking it, you with your friends and I'm with my boys, and we're just kicking it, and all of a sudden, my boy goes over and says, hey, how you ladies doing? You guys want to come to the table, come join us or whatever? Yeah, you do. And, it might be, three of us and three of you guys, and maybe two of us kind of hit it off in terms of, being real cool. And then, the third one is like, I'll just take one for the team. I'm here, but let's just say, that, you guys kick it and we sit around and, everybody, we exchange contact information and we decide, hey, look, y'all, let's do this again. And we might kick it again. We might go out, watch a game, all of us. And then after that, people kind of split off, going forward. The next weekend, it's just kind of one-on-one. But by that third weekend, you kick it. Let's just say you let my boy smash. I'm just using the term that the teenagers are using. So, for those who don't realize, smash is, so you guys have sex basically after, that first date, because you kind of met each other all together on one, and you all hung out the following weekend. But, the third date, it's the first one-on-one date and you guys have sex, right? And I don't think it's the problem of men having a problem defining the relationship, but it's hard to define a relationship where you just meet a woman and she drops the draws right when you meet her, and you say, define the relationship. First of all, I don't even know if you can really call it a relationship. Yeah, it was maybe a casual hookup, casual sexual relationship. But now what you're asking me to say or define something outside of just what just happened. So I guess what you're saying is I'm supposed to now say we're kicking it. So we had sex one time and now we're in a relationship. But then you all add that the question is, how is it that men have a problem defining the relationship? We go with the flow.
Yes. Yep.
We roll with the flow. We move based on the vibe of the woman. And guess what? If you that woman that, and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying there's some people I think, matter of fact, I know two couples that have been married for a long time. They met, had sex the first night. They've been together ever since. But the likelihood of that happening is between 0 and none. If we look at statistics. So we sit back, we define, we watch what you do. if you make the man, as the old heads would say, make that man court you, make him respect you, make him adore you, you won't have to worry about the relationship being defined because he will define it for you. You will be such a commodity and a value to him that he will let you know that this is what we're doing.
That's a good point.
This is you and I, one-on-one. We are exclusive. We're kicking it. I'm dating you with purpose and on purpose and for a purpose. But you have to give the man time to get to know you. And what happens is a lot of times we rush into stuff, particularly sex. And you rush into that, you can't define a relationship. You don't even know the individual. You don't know them. So it's hard to define a relationship when I don't know you. I know you can touch your toes. I know you can put your feet up to the wall. I know you can put your head between the headboard and the mat. I know all of that, but I don't know anything else about you. So for me, that is the relationship. That is what I know you by. So ladies, and I ain't hating on the fellas. And I ain't ready to throw that just kind of Steve Harvey shit at you, 90 days or whatever they talked about in the book. But you have to feel and vibe this person. And women, you have got to. You can almost force a man to define the relationship on how you move around him.
Yeah.
Is this a man? You force this man, hey, when you go to the car door, don't you open your own car door? You stand there. Some of this stuff that women ask for, they say, oh, I want a man who does this. I want a relationship. I want to be married. But you can't wait until you start being in a relationship or kicking it with a guy and then prepare yourself. You should already be prepared when he comes along. That way, again, you will never have a problem trying to define the relationship in terms of how this man sees you. So, we'll dive in a little more, but I want to, flip the mic over and let Solo say a few things in terms of, defining this, why men don't define a relationship and why is it so hard? Because I don't think it's really hard. You give me a rope, I'm going to be a cowboy. You give me a ladder, I'm going to fix the gutter. I'm just, and I'm just saying that in general, like as men. But if you force us to respect you from day one, we will lay out the guidelines of our relationship with you and our intent. But you have to communicate on the front end. You always got to let a man know what you're looking for. And I'm not saying when you go on your first date, you start talking about marriage. I'm not saying that. But your conversation with a man should let a man know what type of woman you are without saying it directly. Yeah. How you speak, what you're talking about, how you talk, everything, the subject matter. You should be able to show this man, this is the kind of woman I am. So if you're coming at me with the bullshit, men recognize that. We know which women we can get over on and ones that we can't. Yep. And that's why they sometimes say, oh, black men hate a strong woman. I don't know if we hate a strong woman. I don't like that term. Many of us like a challenging woman. We like that woman who is smart and intelligent and makes us work to earn her emotionally, her physically, her mentally, all of that. That's a job, and you want to have to work for that. When you give a man that immediately, what am I working for? Nothing. And you know what we also think, man, she did that with me like that. How many other times has she done that? That's always in the back of your mind. So, but yeah, we'll go. I'll jump back in it, man. But I'm going to give Solo a minute to expand and expound on this.
Yeah. You, as usual, man, you definitely hit a lot of good talking points, and the main thing that was been running through my mind is the word relationship, and when you break it up, it's relation and it's a ship, and when you think about it, it's almost like a mode of transportation, whether we're talking about a literal ship or your own vehicle, or even if you got an Uber or something. You don't just jump in there, even though you may or may, if you're not the driver and you know that you don't just jump into the back of a taxi cab or something and then just expect that they know where you're trying to go. There has to be, it's got to be a level of direction in a way. And if you know that you want to go in a certain direction with somebody, then, just when at a certain point, let us know, because, like Steve said, we just go with the flow. And it depends on what the guy is looking for at the time as well, because, he might be interested in a relationship, but if you don't give off a vibe that, okay, I'm relationship material as a woman, he's not going to, he's not really gonna, he doesn't want to mess it up if it's a good thing. Because a lot of times part of going with the flow is like, okay, well, if this is the direction we're going in, then I'm going to keep it over here. If, we're just having fun, I'm not going to try to rock the boat and introduce something that could potentially stop or mess up the ride. And, the thing is, from the beginning of the relationship, I don't want to say relationship, but whenever you start hanging out with somebody, if you have an intention of, hey, we're having fun and we're on this ride or this ship and we're seeing how good we relate, I know that this is the destination that I want to reach, then, let that person know so they'll at least have an idea about it. Because oftentimes, to elaborate on what Steve said, something happens and in a woman's mind, we're in a relationship or we're moving towards a relationship. And in our mind, it's like, hey, I had fun hanging out with Stacy last week, or, over the past few months or however long it's been. So when it comes to a relationship and defining things, labels, you want to make sure that you just are on the same page with each other and let each other know. And when I say the direction, I don't mean, tell the guy, hey, this is where we're going to go and take charge and take over what we do. It's just, if you give us let us know which direction you're trying to go in, we can take it from there. Because if we don't know, we're just going to go on a joyride and, we might wind up in the east somewhere, we might wind up in the west. So we're just gonna go with the flow. And I think that's the way to explain it. I hope that I explained it in a way that you ladies can understand, because we're different. The language that men speak, we both speak the same. We speak to each other and we understand each other. At the same time, we speak different languages, because the way that men see life is totally different from the way that women see life. The way we communicate, the way that we might look at a picture in a museum and you could see a ship sailing towards a harbor, and we could see people hanging out windows doing different things in a high-rise building. So we're looking at the same thing, but we have different interpretations of it. So it's real important to know, hey, just let us know, this is what I see as far as what we're looking at, as far as where this ship or relationship, whatever it is going. This is what I see. What do you think about it? And then we can communicate back with you and say, hey, well, okay, this is what we see. Because the thing is, if we're on the same page, then that alleviates a lot of unnecessary headaches and problems in the future. And you don't want to get into a situation where it's like, oh, well, we're hanging out and having fun. I thought we were already established, but we never had that conversation. So it's just it's the intentions more than anything, and just letting us know up front where you're trying to go. And you know, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying as soon as you say, hey, what's your name, it's, oh, I want to be married. Mary, what's yours? You know, we're not saying to from day one just lay it all out there, but just, you know, let us know fairly early what you expect or what you're trying to do, and then we can move from there.
As you said, and it's simply called expectations.
Right.
And everybody has to establish those. Men, you have to establish your expectations when it comes to a woman, of course, and women, you also have to do the same. You can't not, and this is, and I speak this part only because for women, because this is something that I know that happens and has happened. You know, you can't meet a guy. A woman knows within the first 15, 20, 30 minutes of meeting a guy whether she's going to wind up having sex with that guy.
That's a great point.
Men, on the other hand, you know, ours is not so much from the sexual thinking as women think. We think in that first 30 minutes, is this a woman that I can really kick it with? And when I say kick it with, I mean in terms of a relationship. We do think that way, you know, and a lot of times people don't think that that's something we seek. Men want to be wanted and loved just as much as women.
Yes.
We just take two different approaches to get there. Women, again, are more so emotional, which ties into, for example, you can't meet a man on Monday, have sex with him on Tuesday, and while you still laying there in the bed naked, roll over and ask him, so what does this mean? And that's why you get so many of the dumbfounded looks when you ask that question, because it's like, you know, well, what the hell do you mean? You know, what does this mean? Yeah, I mean, it don't mean shit to me, because, you know, you sitting here, I just met you yesterday.
Right.
So I'm assuming what you're saying is, so does this mean you and I are exclusive? Oh, hell no, it does not. It doesn't. I just met you yesterday. So I can just about tell you, other than what we're doing right now, this is probably as far as it goes. And that's what I think a lot of people, you know, we don't really look at it that way. And so men get bashed because that happens. But shouldn't the responsibility fall on both parties and not just the man? Weren't you a willing participant to meet a man on Monday and sleep with him on Tuesday, and now Wednesday he doesn't call you, and now you're upset with him? You should be upset with yourself. Now, I mean, yeah, I hate that I sounded like the what's the guy that died? I can't think of the guy that Samuel.
Kevin Samuels.
Yeah. I hate that line sounded just like something he would say. You know, God rest his soul. But you know, and that wasn't the intent. But you know, I mean, I'm just thinking. You know, you are now asking me, okay, so are we in a relationship? Well, first of all, I just met you.
Yeah.
I don't know you. Only thing I know more about you physically than I know anything else. But outside of that, women have got to find a way to communicate with the men, to let a man know in the beginning. Again, the first 30 minutes, we know what type of woman you are. We know whether if you're a guy and you out here in the streets and you running game, you know in 30 minutes whether this chick you can run game on her or not when you meet her.
Facts.
Women have to be a little less vulnerable to what's happening out here in the streets. And then you hear from this population, or I do hear this group of women that says, oh, well, what if that's all I wanted? And okay. But just like women tell men, I think it should be a open line of communication. If that's all you want, tell the man in up front. Because isn't that what you want? Don't you want them? If a man is out here and that's all he wanted from you was sex, don't you want him to tell you in the beginning, look, I don't want a relationship, or hey, I'm already in one. I'm just looking for somebody to kick it with every now and then. I think that people should open it up in the beginning and let a person know what the intentions are. Intentions are, that's the most important thing, I think, in a relationship, especially in the beginning. What are your intentions? Are you dating for a purpose? Are you dating to find a husband or a wife? Then you date differently. Are you just dating because, hey, I'm casual. Hey, I ain't trying to be tied down. I just, I want to date different people and sleep with different people. You date differently. That dating is not the same. So to make it fair for both men and women, make it fair and let that person know in the beginning, at least what you're looking for in terms of a friendship, which goes into a relationship. If it's all about sex, let the person know up front. This is all I'm looking for.
Right.
If it's about, hey, I'm looking for a relationship. I'm not about just, hit smashing and running. I ain't with that. Matter of fact, you ain't getting these draws no time soon. Let the man know that. And, unfortunately, even though you hear that a lot, oh yeah, you're gonna have to wait. And next thing you know, it's 2 days later. I'm like, oh wow, what a wait. Like, boy, ketchup moves, slower than you do. But, so yeah, at the end of the day, we just wanted to have a little fun on a different subject matter this time, and talk about something that was a little different because, I got a question from someone that just, asked that, hey, why is it so hard, for guys to do that? I don't think it really is. I think part of that is also on you as the woman. You have to set your boundaries in the beginning.
Yeah.
Men have to set their boundaries in the beginning. When you set boundaries, trust me, people know not to cross them, and they do understand. If I cross them, it's going to be a problem. I'm probably not going to, this person's probably not going to be involved with me anymore. But set those boundaries. And when you set boundaries, it shows people, first of all, that you're focused. You know what you want, what you don't want, what you tolerate, and what you won't tolerate. So again, at the end of the day, hey, it's all about communicating. I don't care if you pumping gas and you meet a girl at the pumping gas at the QT. Y'all just meet and y'all decide y'all going out on a date. Hey, but look, you know what, fellas, make the intentions known. Ladies, make your intentions known. It's a two-way street. We're both in this together. It's time that we stop blaming the other party. Men, this doesn't happen because always a man's fault, and women say it, and guys say, oh man, it was such is always the woman's fault. You know what, man? When two people are in a relationship, there has to be a share of fault. Now, it may not be a 50-50. It could be 60-40, 70-30, 80-20, 90-10, 85-15, whatever. But somebody has some fault as well. Divorces happen all the time, happen every single day. Divorce, even if somebody cheated, I think you can still sometimes, and not all the time, in some cases, go back to see, is there something that I did that I could have done differently that would probably have kept that person from cheating?
Right.
And I'm not saying that, in 100% of the cases that is the case, because some people, if they're gonna cheat, they're just gonna cheat. Period. It doesn't matter. You ain't have to do anything. You can drink a cup of coffee and they still gonna go cheat on you. But I'm saying at the end of the day, you have to be able to accept responsibility. And as long as we accept responsibility and we're open to being held accountable to things, life's gonna be pretty good. Relationship life is gonna be really, 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 really good. I love marriage. I support it. It's a wonderful thing. I'm not married, but it's a wonderful thing. I have friends who have beautiful marriages. I have some who have some ugly marriages. When I'm talking to both parties on separate occasions, they both saying they can't wait to get a divorce. But I think that people who wind up a lot of times with divorce, the marriage was deemed from divorce before you even got married.
Yeah, so true.
Again, just wanted to touch on that. Now let Solo close us out today if he's got something else he wants to add.
Oh yeah. And I mean, really, at the end of the day, it's kind of funny because the subject it's on point with the subject, but to correlate with the subject, it's all about accountability at the end of the day. You know, men and women, even on social media, and I noticed this little gender war thing going on, and there's a lot of blame and back and forth. At some point, we've got to sit down and say, okay, well, this is where we take accountability as men. This is where we take accountability as women. What now? So whether you're at the beginning of your relationship, or you're even if you're married and in a long-term relationship and you're not starting off at square one, you're past it. It's all about knowing what your intentions are and sticking to them. And that's another thing too, because some people, you know, you might have the intention that, okay, I want a relationship, or I want to, you know, I just want to have fun, and, you know, things might change. If it, not that things might change, but, you know, you might start off with an intention, but it doesn't really flow that way. You want to make sure that you're okay with doing what works for you. Because if you know that you want a relationship, then that's what you need to stick to. Like, don't be out here, you know, messing around, and it's like you know you want to be exclusively dating, but you're not moving that way. Move in the direction you want to go in. That's all I'm trying to say. And other than that, we really appreciate your questions. We appreciate your feedback. This has been a wonderful episode. And actually, before we go, Steve, I wanted to ask you, because I thought about it, and from a woman's perspective, because we've been talking about intention and setting standards and things like that. So I was just wondering, for some of our listeners, they might be like, okay, well, I get it. You know, you want to be intentional from the beginning, but I'm not at the beginning. So, you know, let's say Tina, she's already, I guess, going with the flow with this guy. You know, they already had sex. They kick it and they hang out. She wants to take the situation beyond what it is, but I don't know how to do it. You know, I'm scared to say something, because, you know, we have fun. I don't want to mess it up, but I want more than what I'm getting out of the situation. So what do you think would be the best way for Tina, for example, or just anybody, any listener out there that may fall outside of the category, who's already in a situation and they just want to expand beyond where they are now? Like, what would be some advice that you would give them as far as like how to approach their partner from a man's standpoint? What's a way or two that, you know, it's like, okay, well, if I was here, you could approach me this way or that way?
But you know what? Let's say I'm kicking it with Tina, right? We start off as friends, and it wasn't, you know, let's just say it wasn't a quick smash. This was something that developed, and there was a solid friendship being built in the beginning. You can best believe that even though our intentions may have been different in the beginning, but when you vibe with somebody and you guys realize learning a person, once you learn that person or do the process of learning that person, and you realize, whoa, you know what, man, she's more than I thought she was. She's actually turned out to be like, man, wifey material. There are a lot of times that men feel that way as well, but we don't want to be the one to go to the woman to say, hey, I know in the beginning we agreed that it was only going to be this.
Right.
But shit, I'm feeling you. I want to take this to another level. So men feel like that a lot. Yeah. It's ego. It's ego with a man where we don't, because you know what? We don't like, you know, women don't like being rejected, but men hate being rejected 10 times more than women, I think.
Yes.
And so I think that we avoid sometimes those conversations even though we want to go to the next level. And you know what? Sometimes we will actually even lose a good woman because of our pride and us not wanting to say something to her to let her know that, you know what, man, I want to kick it too. You know what? I want to be exclusive.
Yeah.
I know we started in the beginning and we never, we didn't really talk about it, or, we even said that, we're not there yet. You still want to date other people and I want to date other people. But I might, I think for Tina, if you feel that way, Tina needs to tell me, hey, say, you know what, look, you're cool. I'm, I don't need, and let's just say this is real early in a relationship, right?
Right.
Don't come to me, I've fallen in love with you and I want to be married and, I want to have a family. Don't hit me with that yet.
Yeah.
But do let me know that, you know what, I do know that my intentions in the beginning were this. But because I've gotten to know you, feelings have developed. I see how you move with your child, or I see how you move with your parents. I see how you move with your brother and your sister. I like how you move. I need that in my life. And if Tina comes to me like that, then trust me, I'm gonna listen. I'm gonna pay attention, and that would be my opportunity to tell Tina, you know what? I'm feeling the same way. We good.
I love that.
I think, I agree with you, but that's where the two meetings of the mind come together, and you both agree that, hey, are we exclusive? Because let's make sure that this is what you want to do. Yep. You're exclusive. What about you? So now at that point, when you're exclusive now, that means, you can't be out here still smashing and kicking it.
Yeah.
Because you are now exclusive.
Right.
And I think so many people feel like, hey, I don't want to become exclusive because I don't know what might still be out there for me. Guess what? It ain't shit out here.
It's not.
It's not. And I'm not saying that there are not any good women. There are no good women. I'm not saying that. But I'm talking about in terms of bouncing from woman to woman to woman to woman. You know what, man? It's pretty much the same. It's not a whole lot different out here. There are a lot of good women out here. You get a good woman, hold her.
Yeah.
You better hold her. And women, if you get a good man, you do what you do to keep him. Because it's so rare now to be able to find that person that is literally how they say in the movie, the yin to my yang.
Yeah.
You want that. You want that person that eventually will finish your sentences for you because they've been around you so much and they know you so much. They can finish what you were about to say. They know your favorite color. They know on this day what you might want to eat. They know that's what getting to know a person is all about too. You learn their ways. You learn it. You don't just read the sentences of their lives. You read in between the lines as well. That's why it's so critical to when you're getting to know these people. You get to know them. You get to know them on every level. Again, sometimes we get to know people on the physical level. Sometimes we get to know them every now and then slightly on the emotional level. And I got a lot of my friends who say, hey man, that chick, man, she's crazy. We as men also have to take a little bit of responsibility here. Some of these women were not crazy until we did some of the stuff that we did to them. Right. When a woman falls and feels a certain way for a man that she's never felt for a man before, and you do some dumb shit, it makes them crazy. And likewise, it's the same way with men. Men don't want to talk about this either. Now, maybe there are some guys out there, I'm not saying there are none, but, I don't think we're out there, keying cars and, smashing windows. And, I don't know. And if there are, maybe, I don't know. I'm just, in terms of people that I know. But I think women are so emotional based that's why a lot of women are deemed as crazy. Married and you come home at 4:00 in the morning smelling like perfume. She probably is gonna be crazy. But think about it. If your wife came home at 4 in the morning smelling like cologne, I don't know how sane you'd be. And I'm not saying sane or crazy in the sense of violence and all that. I'm just using the term crazy because you got some women, you know, I understand they get physical, but women, well, they got a mouth on them. Women can say the most cutting, hurting stuff you have ever heard in your life. Women know what buttons to push. But again, at the end of the day, you know, we have to be able to talk to that person and let that person know if the relationship is ready to go to the next level. You know, I'm just coming back to a point from earlier what we were talking about. You need to open your mouth and say, okay, my feelings have changed. This is now what I want. What do you think about this? So this way you're not wasting a bunch of time. You don't want to be in this relationship with somebody and, you know, you're not even, you know, this person has no intentions of being with you, you know, for the long haul. So yeah, you know, that's what at the end of the day, that's what I would tell Tina. Hey, you know what? You know, tell the guy, tell me, you know, I'm putting myself in a position, tell me that your feelings have changed and you've had a change of heart and you want to go to the next level. I'm with it. And then I'll let you know too. You know what? Hey, I'm thinking the same way, just like you. I'm with it. What's our next move? I'm not going to just say, this is what we're going to do, because now we're together.
Right.
So every move I make now affects you. So I got to make sure that whatever move I make, you're okay with that move. So I'm now saying, hey, you know, what's next? What we doing? But yeah, at the end of the day, man, that's what I would tell Tina.
I think that's perfect,
hey,
man.
And if my Tina is out there, I'm gonna find her.
Oh yeah,
hey.
I'm with you and me both. We're on the same page.
Oh man! All right, my bro, we gonna wrap this up, man.
Sounds good.
Hey, bro. Hey, everybody out there, you guys have a fantastic weekend, month. Enjoy your holiday season.
Oh yeah.
You got. You know, for those who celebrate, not everybody celebrates, but if you celebrate Christmas and Thanksgiving and all those other holidays, hey, you enjoy your holidays, have safe holidays, keep your head on the swivel if you're in the ATL, because it is mad out here. Watch your cars, don't leave anything on the front car seats, lock your doors, get some floodlights, turn them on,
for real.
Get you a couple Ring cameras, because it is getting wilder. And no, more wild, it's getting... You know what? It's getting crazier. Yeah. All right. Signing off. Solo. Thanks for another episode with you, my brother.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, man.
You all have a good one.